Saludos amigos, Kash, President and CEO of Kash International Luxury Real Estate. Guys, how are you doing? Hope you're doing great. Today I'm going to run through a quick topic that I get asked a lot about, and that is the technical definition of a condo hotel here in the Dominican Republic. When you are doing your searches out there, you're going to see very often that you're going to see the term condo hotel used. So clients are asking, Kash, what the heck does that mean? What is this condo hotel? Can you explain it to us? So in today's video, what I'm going to do is run through a basic explanation of what that means, condo hotel, why that's significant, and why you should pay attention to that, and it could be a play for you when you're looking to invest here in the Dominican Republic. All right, guys, let's do it. All right, guys, welcome back. Thanks for joining me here on the channel. I just pulled over. I want to do a quick video because it's probably 3 times in a row today that I've been asked the same question, which is, what is a condo hotel, Kash? Tell me, explain that to me. What are the benefits of it? What is it, and how does it work? All right, so what I'm going to do in today's video, I'm going to run through that with you. I'm going to share a few pointers with you and help you understand it a little bit better. So the technical definition of a condo hotel here in the Dominican Republic. A condo hotel is a commercially licensed property, okay? What does that mean? Commercially licensed means it's there to make money, okay? So a commercially licensed property combining private ownership of units, being condos, and a hotel-style service of amenities. And that is critical. That is something that has been instilled by the Dominican Republic, and they've hit an absolute home run in the process of creating this. This was one of the big drivers in the absolute explosion of Punta Cana and the growth that happened in Punta Cana. The growth that's happened in so many touristic areas here in the Dominican Republic, okay? The owners are able to purchase a freehold title unit, okay? That means they own their unit free and clear. Is their unit. I was just asked this today about the Hilton. It's the same thing with the Hilton, guys. You own your unit. The Hilton is managing the property. Very often Hilton comes in, developers develop these properties, they build them, and the Hilton comes in with their expertise, and they manage those properties. But you own it in the Hilton, okay? When you go into these condo hotels, you own your unit. You have your your title, your name. It is a piece of paper that you hold safe. You hold it close to you, and that is your ownership of the property, okay? So these are typically in touristic areas. The Dominican Republic has defined those areas, and they've done it very clearly in a section of the Constitution called 158-01, if you want to look it up. It's right into the Constitution on how this works, okay? It is a government law, CondoHotel, okay? So these are resort-style operations. They very often, it doesn't mean it needs to be a hotel. You can live in these as well, and people do it all the time. However, you have the right to do short-term rental. So the property is run by a professional hotel operator, Hilton, Marriott, other international hotel operators coming in from Europe, or could be a mom and pop type of shop. It could be a smaller operation that is managing the hotel, but there's a management company on site. That is critical to have that condo hotel, that confiture status. It is a hotel operational license in essence, okay? It's a hotel operational license in essence. And what does that do for you? It allows you to know you can do short-term rentals. It allows you to have on-site restaurants. This is part of the criteria, and this is in section 158-01, is you must have on-site restaurants, you must have bars, you must have pools, you must have gyms, you must have spas, you must have touristic amenities for people. Because what the purpose of this is to drive tourism, to drive foreign investment, get people over here, get them visiting, get the tourism kick-started, and get that rolling, okay? And that's the purpose behind it. That's why we're doing this. Also, another key advantage that you have in this is you will also have a full concierge service, like a front desk, okay? There's gonna be a front desk. There's gonna be someone there manning it. They're gonna make sure that, you know, when tourists are showing up, whether it's for 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 3 months, whatever it is, that there is a front reception, and that is a critical component of this condo hotel model that has been so successful here in the Dominican Republic. Now, very often in these confiture projects, it's not always, but very often, there's a 15-year tax-free advantage for that first buyer, okay? It's a first buyer that gets it. That doesn't continue with the property forever for the 15 years. It's a first buyer. The first buyer sells, moves on. The second buyer doesn't get that. All right, and there's some strategies to keep that in place. We can share those with you, but there's some strategies to keep that in place if you decide you want to sell in the middle. There's options there for you, okay? But in theory, it is with the first buyer only, okay? That 15-year confiture, tax-free, no property tax, that advantage, okay? There's also another advantage is that you don't pay a 3% land transfer tax, and that applies to all real estate that is bought or sold here in the Dominican Republic. There's 3% land transfer tax on the contracted price of that property. You're free and clear from that. So if you buy a pre-construction unit here from us in Cap Cana, and it is a confiture project, and it's $500K, you would not pay that 3% land transfer tax, okay? That's $15,000. That's a big amount of money, okay? But you would be free and clear from that. You would also not have to pay property tax for 15 years. Really, really big advantage in the confiture, this whole condo hotel model. Now, why is this term used in the Dominican Republic? The Dominican Republic is a tourism-centric market. The Dominican Republic is one of the most visited destinations in the entire Caribbean. Number one, okay? We just had a study come out that was sent to me by my team, is the Dominican Republic is growing faster than any other country in all of Latin America. All of Latin America, including Panama, Chile, all of them. Okay, the fastest growing country in all of Latin America. That is huge, okay? And there's the reason for that is there's so many things that the Dominican Republic, the government, the visionaries like Frank Rainieri and all these different visionaries that came in that were instrumental in making the Dominican Republic what it is today. You can't do this with the snap of a finger. This was set up years and years in advance, and now it's all coming into culmination, and you're seeing that boom, that number one status in Latin America. Did not happen overnight. There was a lot of legwork and a lot of infrastructure put in place to make sure that they can achieve these goals that they have here today. So with this infrastructure, I'm going to go ahead and shut my sunroof here. Got this sun shining down on me. So with this infrastructure that got put into place here many, many years ago, developers were incentivized to come here and start to develop. One advantage that developers get when they get this confiture approval as well, okay? The developers also have the ability to do these developments tax-free, okay? They're income tax-free. They're able to bring in materials from Europe, from France, top-notch materials that are coming in from overseas, able to bring those in tax-free when it is a confiture price. So there's benefits across the board for the developer, okay, and also for the buyer. Now, what does that do? That fuels that market, and that's what you're seeing here, okay? So developers are able to capitalize on this booming short-term rental type of market by structuring properties legally and operationally as condo hotels, okay? That's why that term became so important, and that's why you see it in so much of the marketing that brokers put out there. A little bit of legal clarity on it. A condo hotel title guarantees the property can be rented daily, weekly, or monthly without special permits needing to be put in place because it has that confiture status. There's a huge investment appeal here, okay? So investment appeal, it attracts foreign investors like no other investment does in the past, okay? Foreign investors are looking for hands-off management and passive income, and that's key for so many investors. I have so many now that are choosing to, love where they live and move down here and call this place home. Right now, where am I sitting? I'm sitting in the parking lot of Vista Cana. Behind me is where Ashton School is going, okay? All this development's happening. We have these beautiful smaller villas, okay, maybe around the 1,200 to 1,300 square foot range, and these little villas are going for under 300K. This is amazing for families that are fed up with North America and want out, and they're done with it, and they want to come here. They want to live free. They don't want all their money going to paying the expensive rents or these mortgages and the cost of living. So they're coming down here, and I have so many people that are deciding to move here and call this place home now. It's not just a plan B or for passive income, but the confiture, this condo hotel model, is phenomenal for those that are looking for passive income. Now, in these condo hotels, don't think that you can't live there. You can live there full-time as well. And so many of my clients do that, okay? They live there full-time, move here forever, or they're here for 6 months. There's no restriction on you. Nobody's stopping you. Nobody can contain what and how you use your property. That's key. Now, there are some models that are put out there, which could be suites, and those are restricted because they're set up in a different way. They're still confiture, but those restrictions. We can guide you on that. We can tell you exactly which ones are for that and which ones are not for that. Okay, so don't get confused on that. It's pretty relatively simple. But when you see condo hotel, don't think you can't live in there. You can completely live in there. It's yours. You have full right and say of what you do with it. Now, there are some that are a little bit different, but that's where we come in and we guide you properly. So the investment appeal for passive income is through the roof on this, though. Market differentiation helps you distinguish your property as a short-term rental for that passive income. Okay, so if you're really looking for that short-term rent, you're looking for those short-term rentals and you're looking for that passive income, this helps you differentiate it when you have that term condo hotel placed upon it. Okay, you're not restricted by any other residential zoning laws. For example, I own an amazing not a penthouse, but a full floor apartment in Piantini, and that place is awesome. It's currently rented out because we're spending more time in Cap Cana, so we rented it out long term. That one does not allow. It is not Confiture. No tax-free advantages. You own it, but it's only for living long-term. Okay, I can do a 1-year lease on there, but I can't be doing 1 week, 1 month, 3 month. I can't be doing any of that stuff. It has to be a 1-year full lease. That is not a Confiture project, not a condo hotel. It is a residence. It is a elite residence in the neighborhood of Piantini in Santo Domingo. Okay, so totally different play. Over there, I am restricted by the zoning laws. I'm restricted by the bylaws of the building I live in. Not the case when you're going into a condo hotel, okay? And we have many opportunities in Piantini that are condo hotels, okay? And you're able to live in there. You're able to rent it. You have that freedom, okay? Some people, when they're looking to call a place home, they don't want that. And therefore, the developer, when he's developing that project, develops it without Confiture, okay? Because it would never be approved for it. It's not the kind of model. But when the condo hotel's in place, it has all of those touristic benefits there for people that are coming to stay short term. All right, so let's review some of the pros. Okay, let's look at some of the pros and cons. Some of the pros are fully passive investment income. This is managed entirely, has the ability, okay, let me clarify, has the ability to be managed entirely by a hotel operator. Okay, you can also have Airbnb professionals in place that are able to manage those as well. Okay, you have many management companies that are there. We are one in Las Vegas as well. If you need someone, feel free to reach out to us and we can tell you how we do those services. So you can hire a rental management company. You can, if it's a hotel operator, for example, or a Hilton project, you'll have the Hilton taking care of it. You receive rental income without dealing with the guests, the maintenance issues, or having to market your property. It is totally hands-off and passive. Another pro, guaranteed rental pool options. Some properties are rental pool setups. We're not a big fan of the rental pool type of setup, and most of the properties, I would say 99.9% of the properties that we represent are not rental pools. I'm not a big fan of that. I love when you own your property, you can stay at your property, it's yours, and you have control. Rental pools kind of take that away from you, and I'm not a big fan of that. When you have to pay to stay at your place, I'm not sold on that kind of a model, so I don't really represent those. But some of these condo hotels are like that. Again, very important you reach out to us. Very often they'll guarantee a rental return, and that's the plus why people do it. They'll guarantee you your return at like 6% or 10%, whatever that number is, but they'll guarantee it. But it's a pool. It's a little bit different. When you have a condo hotel, it's yours. Okay, you're getting your ROI, your rate of return is based on how many times your unit is rented and your cost of your unit. A little bit of a different model. Another pro with Confiture is the high occupancy rates. These properties are in prime touristic locations, and those typically normally will lead to a consistent occupancy rate. Now, one thing important there, not everything is built the same. Okay, you might have Confiture. Just because it's Confiture does not mean it's going to rent all the time. What's key is, again, my team are very critical to this equation. You have to, it's location, 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 guys. Just, your parents have told you this. You've heard it on Instagram and TikTok, and everybody talks location. It is so damn true when it comes to these type of projects. When you look at a condo hotel, it's about location. You want to be, if you can't be on the ocean, it's out of budget, then try to see the ocean. That's my number 2 option. Try to see the ocean. You don't need to be next to the ocean. You don't even need to be close to it. You need to see it. I think people like that more than being 2-minute walk from the ocean. If you can't see the ocean, you can't be on it, you can't see it, then try to be close to it. Okay, try to be close to it. But don't fall for buying based on price. Don't fall into that trap of, wow, I can buy something in Punta Cana for $59,000. Guys, you're probably going to end up in a city like in an area you don't want to be in. Okay, it's not not that you don't want to be in it because it's not safe. I mean, because it's not going to generate any rental income for you, because your standard tourists, the you, the me, are not going to want to stay there. We're going to want to be close to the beach. We want to see the ocean. We're going to want to see, mountains. We're going to want to see something special. So make sure location. That's critical. If you're not next to the sea, then make sure you have unbelievable mountain views, or you're on the Jack Nicklaus golf course, or make sure there's something special. And that's why we like Cap Cana. You don't need to see the ocean, be near the ocean, but you can be on Punta Espada. You can see that. You can see that golf course. You can be close to it. And Las Iguanas Golf Course offers that with a lot of our condo options, where you're right on the golf course and you can see it, and you're getting an amazing project for like $300K. So keep that in mind as well. So not always guaranteeing higher occupancy rates, but it can. But you need someone like myself, honestly, and I'm not just tooting my own horn. You need someone like myself or my team to guide you on the right ones. Those are the ones that we try to represent. Okay, another pro, tax advantages. When you qualify for Confitor, you're getting that 0% tax for 15 years. You're able to avoid that 3% land transfer tax as well. That's a huge pro. Typically, it's a turnkey product. Very often, not always, very often they're delivered fully furnished. Okay, so it's fully turnkey. You don't even need to show up. That place will start to rent and make you money. So that's another advantage of a condo hotel, normally speaking. There is personal use flexibility. Okay, owners have the ability, and that's what I was saying. You have the ability to use it as your own. You can stay there the entire time, or you're able to stay there for a few weeks, or you can rent it out, all year round. Okay, there's flexibility in those condo hotel models, so keep that in mind as well. Again, there's some stipulations in there. You want to make sure, again, working with us, so we can guide you in the right product, because not everything is created exactly the same. Sometimes there's different bylaw restrictions that create some confusion and stuff like that. So you want to make sure you work with myself and my team on that to avoid any headaches. Typically, you have high liquidity on there as well. The resale is usually pretty quick and easy, because it is often a branded hotel, or the location is pristine. It's a turnkey product. It allows for short-term rental. There's so many different things that make it a high liquidity product for you, and people like that. Now let's jump into the cons really quick. You might run into higher monthly fees, okay? Owners of the condo hotel model, you'll have fees, you'll have hotel management you got to pay. Typically, it's in around 20 to 30%. Guys, don't pay anything more than that. Typically, around that 20% marker. That's where we're at. So you do have those costs of operation. This hotel management isn't free, okay? So typically, when the developer's doing it himself, he might charge more. So that's where you look for a third-party rental management company like ourselves in Las Terrenas with Steph. She will go ahead and do that, and we're in and around that 20%. She can give you the details. Send me a WhatsApp if you're interested to find out about our rental management program in Las Terrenas. I can send you that info as well. But condo fees nowadays, our HOAs are anywhere from $3 to $5, guys. The days of $2 condo fees are pretty much gone. And when you have a condo hotel, you have all those amenities. Those need to be maintained and taken care of. So those fees are passed to the owners. Now, one thing I want to clarify: people always get caught up on what is the condo fee when I'm buying. What is the condo fee, guys? Keep in mind, when you own that property, you and your fellow owners all own that. Then you guys dictate condo fees. You have your monthly, annual, or every 6 months. Depends on your group of owners how you guys do it. But you guys dictate the services you want or don't want. If you want to clean your pool 7 days a week, and you want a security guard at every possible nook and cranny of the building, that's going to cost you guys. If you want to upgrade your insurance to the premium pack, that's going to cost you. That's going to reflect in the HOA. Don't get caught up in the developer dictates that, because you as the owner will dictate that. You as the owners will dictate who is the president, who's the secretary, who is the treasurer, who are the people that are in charge, and you have open access to all these files. So don't get confused when you're buying that you think the developer still has a say. Now, there's a scenario if the developer owns more than 50% of the project still, yeah, he will, but that's as an owner, okay? The developer, once he delivers, you guys as owners are going to dictate that. What the developers or development companies are doing in the beginning is forecasting, okay? And typically that forecast anywhere from $3 to $5 per square meter. What dictates that? The size of the amenities. How big are the amenities? What do they have? Do they have paddle? Do they have tennis courts? Do they have swimming pools? Do they have an equestrian center? What do they have? Those things cost money to run and operate, to insure, to light, all these things. Common area, lighting the common areas. You typically take care of your own expenses within your own personal unit. You insure your own goods. Typically the building is insured in the condo fees as well. The structure, okay? So those are some things to keep in mind. Typically you will have higher fees in a condo hotel model. Sometimes again, another negative is they could limit the personal use that you want. Depends on the model. Again, that's where we can assist you. So that is something that you don't you want to be cautious of, or at least be knowing of, and we will guide you on that. But you're going to really find out when we guide you, when our attorneys are going to guide you in that process, when they're going to tell you about it. That's where the due diligence phase is critical. That's where you really drill in, whether it's me or someone else telling you about the project. When you're hiring that attorney, it is his job to make sure that he explains all of those things to you and he looks out for it. Because what you would be saying if I was you to your attorney is, I want no restrictions on my ability to stay there. It is now his job to make sure that those are not in a contract. There's no restrictions. If there is restrictions, he needs to make sure he's telling you. Okay, so that is very important. That legal process is very critical, and you guys need to hold your attorneys accountable. It is their job to make sure that they are protecting you in that contract. Okay, attorneys here are not cheap. Okay, it's not like North America. You're not paying $700 for closing. You're paying 1% of the price of the property. It is an all-encompass service, nevertheless. Okay, it handles everything: due diligence, title transfers, getting your conflict certification, maybe a little bit of negotiation in there based on the contract with the other party's lawyers. But guys, it is on them, and they're charging a pretty penny. Make sure you ensure they do their job, because that is precisely why you guys are paying 1% of that purchase price. So when you're buying something for $500K, $5,000 in attorney fees, man, he better step the F up and do his job. You know what I mean? So we support you. We're the buyer's agent, where you are our client, and we want to make sure that you guys are always taken care of. That is our goal as our firm. That is our motto. Okay, we are the buyer's agent. So make sure there's no limiting clauses in that contract before you sign it. Make sure your attorney knows what you're looking for and what you don't want, and always do your own personal due diligence as well. Okay, very important. Another con is control limitations. Hotel operators control some pricing and bookings and marketing that you cannot control. There's a positive to them doing the marketing for you. For example, if you have a Marriott or something like that is managing your condo hotel, then they're doing their marketing, they're doing their process, and you have them in place. It's a big name, so there's a benefit to it. But the downside, the negative there is, you're not going to have as much control over the marketing and what is said and how those things are done, bookings and pricing and stuff like that. You will lose that control. When you hire a rental management company like us, you can dictate those prices. Of course, we work with you and we advise you on what's good or bad, but you have the ultimate say, not in a big branded hotel model. Okay, so that's one of the negatives as well. Another negative can be revenue splits. After hotel management fees and operational expenses and net income and all that stuff is typically done, you're looking at anywhere from a 6, I've seen as high as 13, 14, 15%, but in and around that range of an ROI. Okay, what I say, and I was just talking to Carlos today, if you're able to buy a piece of real estate and you're able to push that 5-6%, then be happy. That is an amazing return, because keep in mind, you also have capital appreciation that's happening there. It's not just the return, like taking your money, putting it into a CD and getting that 5%. You're also getting that capital appreciation. Okay, you're also getting the benefits of usage, which you're able to utilize your property, and then you're also adding on that ROI. You also have an asset that can carry forward into generations. So there's multiple advantages there. You're also able to borrow money against it. So there's different things you can do. So don't just get caught up on the ROI. But typically what I say is, if you can get above that 5-6%, be happy, because you also have that capital appreciation that's happening and all those other advantages. Another negative though is they don't typically, and again, this is where we have to really dial into the contract and look at what's being said, and your attorney's job is essential, is sometimes there can be restrictions, no long-term rental options. You cannot pivot into a long-term rental from a short-term rental in a condo hotel model. Some developers put that in place. Everybody has their own reasons for why they put different bylaws and stuff like that in place, but you want to make sure, if that's not what, if you want to be able to rent long-term, which I love long-term rental, guys, honestly, I think long-term rental is the play. I think it provides you with the net is better. For me, at least, that's what I'm feeling. Less headaches, less problems, so long as, it could be a huge problem if you have the wrong tenant in place. Then you got big problems. But so long as you have a great tenant, you typically are going to do a little bit better, I feel, in my personal experiences, than the short-term rental. However, if you're just passing it off, someone else is handling it for you, for example, the Marriott's handling it, or the Hilton's handling it, or some rental management company's handling it, it's not really your headache. So in that case, not a big deal. But if you're handling it yourself, then maybe it could be your headache. So just want to make sure that there is no long-term no restrictions on long-term rentals in place if that's what you want to be able to do. Okay, make sure you're not make sure that you're not locked into just short-term rentals. Make sure you have some control, and that's where your attorney needs to do his job to make sure that is the case. So guys, in summary, condo hotels in the DR are typically a turnkey operation, tourism-driven investment, products offering passive income, tax benefits, hassle-free management. They're ideal for international investors like you North Americans, that we are boutique brokers for you North Americans. So it's typically great for you guys. And if you're looking to benefit from the booming Dominican Republic tourism economy, then guys, with that legal protection in place, and to know that you're buying an investment that is going to be providing you that passive income, and you can have that enjoyment of usage, you're going to have that capital appreciation, and you're going to have that rental management in place, and pools and amenities and all that fun stuff that you want to have when you come to a place like Dominican Republic, then guys, condo hotels might be your play. And we specialize in that. We are the foremost leader, and I mean that foremost leader in Las Terrenas when it comes to pre-construction, guys. We don't represent all projects, we represent the best projects. That's our thing. Same thing in Cap Cana, guys. We don't represent them all, we only represent the best. We pick the best projects. Key thing here, we pick the best developers. What we are, and we explain to all of our developers, we are the buyer's agent. We are there for our buyers. If we love your project as a developer, and we think you have a good work ethic, and you are transparent in your delivery, and you are working in good faith, then guys, we are here for your product. However, we are the buyer's agent. We want to make sure our buyers are taken care of. We want to make sure they're getting exactly what they said they were going to get, and we fight really hard to try to make sure that they get it on time. And that is our directive to our attorneys that represent us as well. Okay, that represent us and represent you guys as our clients. So you get those legal protections, you get that consistent cash flow, you got great locations typically, and you don't sacrifice your personal time in trying to manage this asset. Okay, so guys, I hope this one helps a little bit for those of you that have been asking me questions about the condo hotel. What is this? What is this term? Where it originated from? Guys, section 158-01. Jot that down, look it up, research it, understand it, be an informed buyer. That's what we want. And then guys, guess what you got from us? You've got a buyer's agent. We're here to fight for you guys. We're not going to fight for anybody else. We're fighting for you guys. We want to make sure you guys get what you're promised. We want to make sure we know how hard it is to make that decision to come to the Dominican Republic, to go to any foreign market. There's always a naysayer out there. So as you're getting ready to do it, you're gonna have your brother, sister, your attorney, your accountant saying you're crazy. Keep it in TD Bank here in Canada, or keep it in Bank of America in Florida. Don't invest over there, guys. They're saying it in your interest. They feel they're helping, but guys, there's opportunity here. But you got to find the right broker to guide you, and that's what we like to pride ourselves in. Okay, so reach out to us, send me a direct WhatsApp, 15195671785. We specialize Cap Cana, Punta Cana, Vista Cana, where I'm sitting right now. I'm about to go have an amazing sandwich here at Grenier. We do a little bit of work in Piantini as well, Naco. That's like the neighborhood that you need to live in if you're North American. If you're looking at San Domingo, that's where you live, period. We can help you there. And then, of course, where it all began, Las Terrenas, guys. Love where you live. Thank you for joining me on this. Hope this helps all of you that have been asking that question, and we look forward to assisting you in your search for a place that you can say you love where you live. Talk to you soon.